the Wholesale and Retail Sectional Educational and Training Authority Good Practice Awards 2023. It's happened again, and it's almost showtime. The last time we had the GPA Awards was in 2016, and this year it promises to be bigger and better with new categories, with women in business, celebrating innovation, entrepreneurship, and other awards that are to come. Look, it's a star-studded event, and everybody's looking beautiful. I can't wait to talk to the people who are here tonight to learn a thing or two and also educate you at home about what's going on tonight. Listen, my name is Reverend Gwenya, and you are with me all the way, GPA 2023. It's the GPA 2023. I know you at the GPA 2016. It's been a 9-year wait, man, and it's here bigger and better. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling great. It was great seeing you, and you did say I didn't age, so I was happy about that.
How are you feeling today, sir?
We're quite excited because we know it's overdue, actually.
Look, it's 9 years coming, right?
Yeah, no, it's overdue, and we're so excited that the CETA found the time with the partners and with the stakeholders in order to present this again, and so we can celebrate.
I am here to pledge my support as the CEO, the support of ETDP CETA. Mr. Tom Kwanazi is the great supporter of skills development and a champion of ensuring that the skills shortages in the country are addressed, and in particular in W&R CETA. We're here to pledge our support and say well done to W&R CETA.
So I was invited, and it's quite special for me to be here because being in the industry that I am in and being at a retail awards, it's also just good to see what the corporate companies are doing out there.
What does it mean to be a nominee at the Good Practice Awards 2023?
Oh my God, yeah, it's very great. It's great. I'm so excited to be a nominee here.
So what are you nominated for tonight?
For Best Practice Awards.
Are you going to get it?
Definitely.
Welcome to the Best Practice Awards. You all look so ravishing tonight. Will you please give yourselves a huge round of applause? I want to take this moment to introduce a man that is passionate and pragmatic. For our opening remarks, please give a huge round of applause to Mr. Reggie Sevilla. Louder!
The occasion really is about recognizing and celebrating excellence by stakeholder companies, training providers, institutions of learning, women leaders, and wholesale and retail CETA beneficiaries in the implementation of skills development in our sector. These awards recognize organizations and individuals that demonstrate an exceptional commitment to skills development, particularly skills development planning, reporting, and going beyond compliance with the legislation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our honorable speaker for tonight, Mr. Sandile Zumo.
An entrepreneur is a person who will appreciate the cycles, the curves, hockey stick, that just when you are tired of investing money and someone who is in it for a wrong reason then throws the towel, and those who are there for the long haul suddenly see the hockey stick beginning to shoot upward. The return on the investment is beginning to manifest. So I always argue that an entrepreneur is someone who is single-mindedly focused on the long haul, appreciating there's going to be a straight line curve. It's going to be ups and downs. But if you are focused on the target, you stay the course.
And the third prize winner, Yashika Piana, Boxer Superstores.
Murray from Big Food.
Our first prize, Becky
Wasimelan.
And the winner is Richard Shazy from Mr. Price Group.
A very special thanks to WNR SETA team for selecting me, and this is the best way of recognizing the business.
WNR SETA, thank you.
Thank you very much, WNR SETA. Thank you very much, Boxer Superstore Training Department. Thank you very much, Boxer Superstore Operation. Nationally, thank you.
You know, it's been 9 years since the last one, and you guys really went out on this one, eh?
I think it was long overdue, right? Because for us as the WNR SETA, it's very important to recognize our stakeholders. This is the only time that our retailers actually come out to dress up, as you can see. You know, they've swapped the tills and the baked beans for the red carpet. So it really, really was such an incredible night, seeing them come out to celebrate each other. Most importantly, we're celebrating each other as an industry in terms of the contribution that we're all making towards skilling the sector and looking at all the innovative programs that we're all doing in order to grow South Africa. So as we say at the WNR SETA, we are moving from good to great together.
I am so overwhelmed, but what I can say is one key speaker yesterday said you only need one door to open up in order for you to succeed. So thank you, WNR SETA. Thank you for trusting such a village girl from KZN and gave me the opportunity to actually go and further my studies. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for this funding.
Congratulations.
What's a musician doing here besides providing beautiful entertainment?
What's an event without celebration? What's an event without music? And that's what I'm here to do, just to celebrate all the people that have won tonight and all the people that have done such incredible strides in educating and training people within all the different sectors that were awarded tonight.
We are sitting with another winner, Begiwe Simelane, and she is the winner of the beneficiary award. So you had a bursary with WNR SETA and now you've won. Just take us through what that means.
It means a lot. I mean, WNR SETA was that one door that had to open up so that I can be where I am today. I mean, if you could have told me 10 years ago that I would be sitting here receiving awards, I would have laughed at you. But I'm very honored to be recognized for the work that I've put in. And what can I say? I'm happy.
I can see you happy, Nate. I can see you overwhelmed. At the pinnacle of what WNR SETA does, it looks like people are a very important value system that you guys actually value.
Rev, what is the sector without its people? All these people who we have recognized here, they are the engine behind the wholesale and retail sector. We don't have a sector without these people.
Good morning, everyone.
So it's very, very important to come and
please just,
celebrate them because they go out of their way. They are committed to the sector. So we have to say, we see you and we acknowledge the work that you are doing. So this is what tonight was about, recognizing all those people who make wholesale and retail what it is today.
Now, Malebuli Dwaba is a winner tonight at the WNR SETA Good Practice Awards 2023. How are you feeling?
I'm still overwhelmed by the prize, and I would like to thank WNR SETA for offering us small companies this opportunity to showcase our products and our businesses.
The Wholesale and Retail SETA has been facilitating skills development in the wholesale and retail sector since 2000. The CETA is an organization of the Department of Higher Education and Training and is part of 20 other CETAs. These organizations are responsible for, amongst others, to equip small businesses with skills to become competitive in one of South Africa's biggest economic sectors, wholesale and retail. Over 80% of the wholesale and retail sector comprises of small businesses. These are companies employing between 0 and 49 employees. Some of the benefits to SMMEs for participating in skills development include the following: receiving 20% of levies paid to SARS, participate in learnerships, bursaries and graduate programs, receiving grants of up to 9,000 Rand for training, develop skilled employees to increase profitability to grow your company and the country, receive tax rebates for learnerships. Our programs include learnerships and short programs, graduate programs and internships, bursaries up to PhD level, management development programs, entrepreneurship development for youth-owned businesses. How can your small business benefit from the WNR CETA programs? Companies with an annual salary bill of 500,000 Rand and above must complete a workplace skills plan to indicate their training needs each year by 30 April. The CETA assists companies to submit this document at no cost. The WNR CETA also supports companies with less than 500,000 Rand salary bill and do not pay levies through the following programs. Informal traders and micro-enterprises capacitate informal traders on basic business management skills to run profitable and sustainable companies. Youth Enterprise Development Program to mentor and coach young people to run or start their own businesses. Beneficiaries receive grants to invest in their businesses. Small business is big business.
I'm hoping to get
Such a pleasure to be in your presence, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this business masterclass, enabled by one of the CETAs that I find most present, most supportive. And I'm not buying their faces because they're here. To be honest with you, you know, the WNR, each time I go to a function, especially that is skills related, we are definitely going to find the WNR there. And I think it is at this point that we really give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm privileged to be your host this morning. My name is Dr. Ntombi Mochekwane. I am with the Black Business Council. I chair the SMME subcommittee as well as the Skills Development Committee. And it is really a pleasure to be here. More so because one is in the presence of like-minded people. It's a pleasure to rub shoulders with fellow entrepreneurs, fellow business people, hustlers, because I'm sure you know the grind. And it's good to rub shoulders with, you know, people that understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur. I'd like to welcome you all and more specifically welcome all our esteemed guests, our speakers, who've really taken time to come and share with us about this journey that we're all on, the journey of entrepreneurship, the journey of being an SMME, and really just the journey of being on your own, but with others, supported by others, and supporting others. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no greater choice of place that one would have been than to be here. You know, we take it for granted. We don't have enough of these, in my view. You know, with the rising unemployment, we really need to be holding each other's hands, sharing insights. I mean, I was so inspired when I met Josta. Josta is one of the speakers. I mean, when you get to hear the kinds of things that people are doing, and I think that for me, these kind of sessions are about that, are about understanding that actually, you know, that leap of faith of getting out and actually just doing it is actually worth the risk and the time. I mentioned that we are empowered to be hosted by the WNR CETA. And just to remind us about the mandate of the CETA, this CETA's mandate is to develop a skilled, capable, competent, and professional workforce to transform the wholesale and the retail sector. And just a bit also about the Black Business Council. So as a Black Business Council, we're an organization that advocates for the transformation of the South African economy. And we are, that is our intention. And we actually say black business. Asingabazi, we don't just say business. You know, because we understand where we come from as Africans and we understand where we need to go to as Africans. You know, and I think we, even as Africans, need to be intentional ourselves to make sure that we make our businesses work. So that's what is our mandate as a Black Business Council. And you can, I think Mercedes is here and the team. For those that want to join the Black Business Council, it's a member-led organization, you know, where we welcome members. Of course, there's a fee that we pay to be members. You know, the impetus for us to have these kinds of settings. I mean, I was reading the other day on the Daily Maverick. It was quite disturbing, ladies and gentlemen, to understand that this first quarter of 2024, South African unemployment rate stands at 32.9%. And this is increased because in the quarter before it was 32.1, so was 0.08% up, which is worrying. Additionally, the expanded definition, listen to this, of unemployment now includes discouraged job seekers. So you've got people who are discouraged, who are seeking jobs. And that, for me, is a worry. And this kind of a masterclass, I'm hoping, is also just going to help us with mindset to say, how do I turn from being a job seeker to a job creator? You know, not to mention a collaborator, because I don't think we collaborate enough, even as Black business. So I'm hoping that with this masterclass, we as entrepreneurs, we're going to come together, share notes, understand what we do. You know, please take this opportunity to network. Please network yourself into someone else's business or network them into your business. And let's make money, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be shy about making money. Let's not be shy about being rich. There's nothing wrong with that. You can never pour from an empty cup. Can we just fill each other's cups? I'm mindful of time, and with the speakers, I'm going to actually ask them to even sit over there, or maybe I'll just call each one at the time that it is their time, to be able to sit over there. And we've got, in fact, maybe even before I continue, just from a housekeeping perspective, the ladies, the restrooms are down the steps and onto your right. Both of them are right there. Yeah. So from a housekeeping perspective, please go to your down the steps and onto your right. That's where you will find. That's where you find the restrooms. I think we are on time right now. Our first speaker, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to be covering a topic on the overview of the WNR CETA and their SMME program, which is basically a program just for you to understand, is Ms. Martha Shingange. Ms. Martha Shingange is a manager, stakeholder, and marketing for the WNR CETA. May, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ntombi. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. Am I audible? Oh, okay, great stuff. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedules, out of your commitments, out of your businesses to come and be with us for this business masterclass. So as indicated, I'm from the Wholesale and Retail Sector Education and Training Authority. It is quite so pleasing to see some familiar faces, so at least I know that there are people who actually know what we do as the Wholesale and Retail CETA. So I think as Dr. Ntombi has given a little bit of background, the WNR CETA facilitates education and training or skills development in the wholesale and retail sector. So I hope we have retailers in this space, but if you're not a retailer, hopefully by the time you leave here, we would have convinced you to join the other side, because I think, as you would know, retail is actually the backbone of our economy. Everything that we do revolves around retail. So it is one of the biggest contributors to the South African economy, which is why, as the WNR CETA, it is very important for us to ensure that the people who want to come into the sector, so that is unemployed people, it could be young people in the various institutions, but most importantly, businesses. And as the WNR CETA, we say small business is big business. And that is the reason why we are here today. So this session that we've partnered with one of our stakeholders, key stakeholders, the Black Business Council. It's meant to create awareness. Firstly, that is the main purpose. So as the WNR CETA, we understand that not everyone knows about the role that the WNR CETA plays, but also importantly, the opportunities that are out there for small businesses. So we have this kind of events or activities whereby we partner with different stakeholders so that we create that awareness. So what we did with the help of the Black Business Council this time around, we said we don't want to make it a talk show. You know, we just don't want to come here and tell you about the programs that we are running, but we also want to give you something tangible that you can take back. Hence, it is going to be a business masterclass, because we want you, even if you take one thing, just one thing from what Mr. Arends is going to share today, to improve your business, because for us that is very, very important that we grow a very strong and a thriving and a sustainable and a sustainable small business, because we know the state of our economy right now. Dr. Ntombi also spoke to some of the statistics which are quite alarming. We know what is happening around youth unemployment, particularly. A lot of our young people are out of jobs. A lot of our companies, they are retrenching. The economy is not doing as well as it should be. And that is, it's not only impacting South Africa, but it is a global challenge that we are all facing. So we are saying that there is hope in entrepreneurship. But obviously with that hope, there has got to be support. And that's where we come in as the Wholesale and Retail CETA to say, how do we support small businesses to actually grow
and be sustainable. So we do this in quite a few ways. We've got programs that we implement as the wholesale and retail SETA on an annual basis, which we partner with training providers, institutions, and organizations such as your Black Business Council and other organizations that we work with. So on an annual basis, what we do is that about 3,000 companies that are paying a levy. So there is something that we call a skills development levy that you would pay if you are running a business, you're registered with SARS, and you have an annual salary bill of over 500,000. So you're already paying an amount to SARS. So 1% of that you are paying to SARS. So with that amount, or that registration, it then allows you to participate on the WNR-SETA programs. So if you are such a company, you are small, and by definition of a small company, we are talking about a company that has got between 0 to 49 employees, right? Then you are able to receive a grant of about 9,000 rands to then implement any skills development programs that you would like to address skills needs within your company. But that is not all, because sometimes, if you making that kind of a contribution in a levy, there are companies that I can give an example that they are paying 5,000 rands to the SETA, but you get even more for what you have paid for. In that you can actually participate in learnerships, you can take in young people and place them in your company so that they gain the workplace experience, that they can also become employable. You can place graduates as well. So I think as small businesses, sometimes we need that helping hand, right? So you can have an accountant come into your business to come and assist you. You can get a marketing a graduate to come in and assist you. Someone in finance, in other areas of the business, in IT. And as the SETA, we pay for all of that. Then we also have developmental program and management as well as executives. And I'm so pleased to see that there is someone who's actually been part of our international. Actually, there are two people. One is a graduate and another one is still on the program. So on an annual basis, again, we take leaders, we take them overseas on an international leadership development program where we learn or we expose them to cutting edge practices in retail in different countries outside South Africa, but also in Africa. Then at a supervisory level, we also have what we call a retail management development program. So that program also assists supervisors. So if you are running a small business and you've got some supervisors or team leaders, we also have a program that assists you. And I mean, these programs, they don't come cheap. The ILDP, for example, we are talking about 500,000 rands per person. So imagine now you've been paying 5,000 rands to the WNR-SETA, but you actually get to participate in a program that is about 500,000. So that is the type of support that we are actually providing to entrepreneurs. Youth entrepreneurship, that is also something that we are quite passionate about as the WNR-SETA. So I need to indicate that SMME development is one of our 7 main priorities as the WNR-SETA. So it's sitting top up there. So when we look at what is it that the SETA is supposed to be focusing on, what are we putting all of our energies towards, SMME development, it's also part of that. So for the youth, again, to address the issue around youth unemployment, we are inculcating a culture of entrepreneurship, because I think right now we understand the state of our economy. So we are teaching our young people not to be job seekers, but to be job creators. So what we do on an annual basis, again, we have about 300 young people. They could either be operating a small business or they would like to start a business. So we assist them with mentorship, with entrepreneurship, how to run a sustainable business. So we take them through that journey and we inject a little bit of of cash, or it's just a small grant, so that they can actually grow their business. So that's what we do. And we've had incredible success stories from this program. And what we're also starting to do now, we've just had a pilot of a project where we took informal traders. So informal traders are also very important. So the ladies that you see out there, just as you leave this venue, you can see they're actually, they're ladies or they're guys who are selling on the streets. They're also very important because they are the backbone of our economy. They are creating jobs. They are taking care of families with those small businesses. So it's also important for us to assist them to grow, to be to grow beyond being a survivalist, because a lot of businesses are survivalist. You know, it's just about, you know, from hand to mouth. So they even end up using some of the money, their profit, to actually run their households. So we have a program as well whereby we take about 2,700 informal traders. This we do every single year, 2,700 informal traders, and we take them onto this program to equip them with basic business management skills. So I was talking about another program whereby we are now saying there is quite a lot to learn, particularly for our informal traders in other African countries. Because here in South Africa, and it is a sad reality that when you are an informal trader, most of the time people don't take you, seriously. But even the people themselves, because they're just trying to survive, it's just a means to survive. It's not intentional. I'm not in this business because I want to be in it. I am here because I'm forced by circumstances. I'm unemployed. I don't know what else to do. So I just jump into entrepreneurship. So what we have done, we took about 117 informal traders. We took them to Nairobi. And the reason why we did that, it was because we observed that in Nairobi and in Kenya and some of the African countries, entrepreneurship is the backbone of the country, especially the small businesses. So unlike here in South Africa, where the business, the economy is actually held by big businesses, right? We are talking about 8 to 20 a percentage. In other African countries, it's the other way. 80% are actually small businesses. So big business, small businesses are actually the backbone of those economies. So we took them to Nairobi because we wanted them to go and learn and observe and see how the Nairobians are actually taking entrepreneurship seriously, the pride that they have, the innovation that is there. I mean, if we were to just step out again, the mama on the street, if I were to go and buy some bananas from her or whatever it is that I'm going to buy from her, she's going to expect that I pay in cash, right? But in all these other countries, they are so innovative, they are so technologically advanced that they're using PESA and other technological means in terms of payment. So those were the things that we're trying to actually teach our people, to say, you're actually losing money because some people don't carry cash. You know, a lot of us, we prefer, to use cards and things like that. So if I come into your small business, maybe you are selling some clothes or whatever, if I were to go to the union buildings, to those people who are selling there and everyone just wants cash, then you are losing out on business. So we wanted to teach them, to show them, because sometimes all you need to do to change a person's mindset is to remove them from their environment and show them something different so that they just, turn around. And the successes that we've had from that from that project have been absolutely incredible. There was a video that we were showing here earlier. One of the ladies who was there, she was into farming, and she's now been supported. She's just received, I think, about 15 million to go and farm in raisins and producing wines and a whole lot of things, just from coming out of that program, because then her horizon was actually it deepened, it was expanded. Then she could see what more she could do. So they came back, these businesses, they're expanding their businesses. Instead of just doing one thing, they are doing other things. They're adding into their product. They are collaborating, very importantly, because we are also saying that as small businesses, you need to collaborate. You cannot exist as an island. You need to network. Hence, we also have this type of activities or events whereby you are able to, engage with like-minded people so that you can actually grow. So it's those programs that we are running as the WNR-CETA, and these are just programs for SMMEs. If I were to talk about all the other programs that we do, we'll be here for the entire day. But it's just to give you a little bit of a synopsis in terms of what we do and how we can actually assist you as well, because we are here to say that the CETA is at your service. We would like to support you in your journey of entrepreneurship, because we believe that when you succeed, our country is going to succeed. You will be assisting the country to grow economically. You will be assisting us to deal with the challenge of youth unemployment. So this is the story that we are bringing here. But as I've indicated, today we want to dedicate most of the time towards the masterclass so that you get the skills that you need and you can go out there and grow your business. And what we've also just done, we've brought in one of our ambassadors. We call them ambassadors because once they've been through our programs or they've been part of our initiatives, they actually become ambassadors. Because as I'm sitting here, as I'm standing here talking to you about these programs, some might think she's just selling us pies in the sky. How real can all of this be? So we want to bring faces, real people, so that you can actually hear from them. I'm sure they'll be more believable than I am. So yeah, with that is our story. We are here to assist you to grow your business. So let's engage, take whatever that you can take today. There's going to be a lot of information that is going to be shared. Seize the day. This is what it's about. You've taken the day, you have taken the time out of your busy schedules to come to be here. So please make sure that you maximize this opportunity. Thank you so very much.
I'm excited. I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually in awe of the support that the WNR-CETA gives to us. And Martha, thank you so much. You know, you spoke about creating opportunities. But I'm happy that you guys are creating opportunities for us to even leave home to come here and to interact. I think there is so much information that we're going to gather today. I just took some of the stuff that from what you're saying, Jorge. Small business is big business. You know, you underrate small business at your own peril. And see yourself as that. I think for me that is also what today's about. It's just that mindset shift that says I'm actually a big business. I'm so in awe also of the fact that, you know, you also just grant opportunities to travel. You know, there is travel really opens up our minds, and I'm hoping that, you know, even of the cohort that is here today, we're going to learn about all those opportunities as well. Yeah, so I'm going to introduce our next speaker. When I looked him up on LinkedIn, I didn't find his name because I think they spelt it incorrectly. But the unintended consequence of that is that then I got to ask him what he does. And I mean, you should have seen my eyes when he was telling me about what he does, or what he's done, past and present. His name is Mr. Josta. Yeah. So it's written on our agenda as Mr. Josta Sekhoba. So if you look him up, please change that. And so Mr. Josta is a chemical engineer with over 20 years experience in the engineering sector. He's got experience in mining, pulp and paper tech, as well as power generation. An entrepreneur of note. And as we're engaging I asked him, so we talked about entrepreneurship, whether he's an intentional, no, he said he's an accidental entrepreneur. And I said to him, are you sure? And I think upon pondering, he then realized that actually he's an intentional entrepreneur because, you know, as he was still navigating his career as an engineer, he then thought, I actually want out of this. You know, so he was intentional about it. And I think there's also a lesson right there. I am going to charge him because I have now created a synopsis for him to go and put it on LinkedIn as a summary. So I'm going to charge you my, I don't know what I call them, services, consulting, I don't know what, image or branding, something. He's also then still consulting he's still a consulting engineer, and lately he's pivoted into petroleum. He's got a few filling stations, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a few retail businesses, I think, hence we're going to be taught by him today or going to be empowered by him today. And add to that, he's also got a spa retailer. So you can imagine, I mean, we really are in the presence of great minds. Ladies and gentlemen, please can you allow me and help me welcome Ntate Josta Sekgota, who is one of our speakers today, and let's welcome him with a round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. As they said already, I'm Josta Sekgota. Maybe with the help of WNR soon to be Dr. Sekgota very soon. I started the journey of being an entrepreneur 15 years ago, and I didn't have a business then. I worked for almost everybody in the business. I worked for Total. I worked for BHP Billiton. I worked in the mining. I generated electricity. But through all that, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So there was one thing I decided to capture throughout my journey. That was to develop myself to be a better entrepreneur. So I learned everything at the business. I spent time with HR. I spend time with finance. Nobody does my financials. Nobody does my forecast because I learned that through the 20 years that I was in business. So another thing that was important for me was to, the challenge that most of the entrepreneurs have, which is capital. So I knew I'm gonna need capital when I start business. So I didn't know when, but I started saving for that day when it comes. Because every time you want to buy any business, people want, what do you have? And I started saving 5 cents, 10 cents, and knew that the day somebody says, what business do you want to go, I want to buy this business, they said, where is your seed capital? Then I'm able to open my small purse that I had. But the most important thing that I took over through the years was to skill myself so that I realized that skills is an intrinsic value of any business growth. So there's resources, then assets and liabilities, and those things are there, but if you don't have the right person to drive the car, and if you don't have the right person to, we see it with ESCOM, we see it with almost everything that collapses in the country, it's always the skills that collapse every business. So fast forward to 2017 when I go into business, I resigned from a very cushioned job with a nice German car that was provided by the company, cell phone, everything. Then I left all that comfort to go into what most of you guys are in, travel, not sleeping. And I chose the worst business to go into, retail. And you don't sleep, you get a call, I'm sure after here at 12 o'clock, I open my laptop, there's invoices, there's whatever that you need to pay, and it's a thankless job. And when I bought the business, the Indian guy that sold it to me said to me, there's this lady from SITA who keeps bothering me. She calls every day, she wants to offer me skills. I'm fine, I don't need them. Then I had this view of SITA of an is it an SLO, an SDF lady who bothers this person. So I knew I didn't want to answer this person's call. So for the first 3 months, this lady called me every single week. Puti, can I come and see you? Puti, can I come and see you? You know, after some time, me being me, I'm like, no, come through to the office. Then we sat down, and she explained what the SITA offers. And to realize that the time I had registered my company, I've been paying for skills levy, because I'm paying you pay SARS. So that's maybe where I should explain how you get to benefit from WNR SITA. They say you need to have a is it 500,000? Yeah, you need to have a salary bill of 500,000 per annum. And when you register on SARS, for your vet purposes, for compliance, there is a skill development that registers for you. Your bookkeepers has already registered for you, most of you. So you're paying it already, you don't know. Then when you go into that SDL, it's a levy that you pay to SARS on behalf of the SITA. So the money is gone already. You paying your employees and paying payee, the money is already automatically went to SARS. So then SARS gives the money to the SITA, different SITAs, whatever. It's not based on wholesale and retail only. So even if you are in energy, you are paying for that skills levy. And because we don't get to know about it and we don't get to answer calls of these people that bothers us, called SLOs, and you even think this person wants to come to me, why does he want to come to me? I have to pay them. Already my invoices are too much. But what you might not know is these SLOs are paid off by the SITA. The SITA pays these SLOs on your behalf. So they appoint this person who comes and guides you on how to leverage this huge opportunity that I'll explain the benefits of it that are too many to mention. And this person will guide you on step by step on what you need to do, what you need to comply to every year, and that then becomes your plan. So this lady came to my office and said to me, what do you have for skills? What skills do you have for your garage or for your supermarket? I'm like, Sisi, I'm too busy. There's invoices I need to pay, there's deliveries, there's suppliers. What should I? Then she left. And she gave me something, and it was written works WSP. They like abbreviations at WRCTA. So WSP just simply means workplace skills plan. Like we all have businesses, and we don't go and identify what skills don't I have in the business. And once you have that, you understand that I'm missing an opportunity here, and I'm paying this bookkeeper so much money, he's sitting somewhere in Pretoria and doing something so small for you. And that skill you can develop in-house with the help of WNR SITA. But you can't do it before you identify that skill gap that you have. So the first thing you need to do is workplace skills plan and identify the gaps that you would have. And it's good that you identify for the year, like you decide this for the next year. I think my employees, I have this person called Lerato, and she's a good accountant, but she lacks in 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you identify that, then you write it, then you go to the same place that you on the WNRCTA website. Then you, with the help of an SLO, if you can't do it yourself, then you plug it in there to say, these are things that I think I will need in the next year. Then SITA, as they, I call them good blesser, they are, they come in, very good blesser. They come in and they would say, these are part of the things that part of that money that you paid already to SARS, you get 1% of that money back into your business to do with it whatever you would want to have. It's a very small money, but anybody who runs a business will know 1% of your business, of anything, it's good money. 30%, 20%, yes, come back into your business, yeah. Then you get a discretionary grants that gets advertised every year by the SITA. And in the past 3 years, I've taken advantage of that. And you get learnerships. So you approach them and you say, I would want to have this kind of learners for the next year. And they would have, in the past 3 years, I think I've trained over 32 people in the business. And they get a stipend from WNRCTA. So you don't have to you don't have to take it out of your kitty. And another thing, they offer bursaries to your employees, all of them. Anybody who wants to upskill, because anybody who has bought a business before would know, I think it's Section 34 of the Companies Act. You buy a business as a going concern, especially a retail business, a garage. So you buy it as a food steward. You buy it with its people, assets and liabilities, but the most important thing, you buy it with its people. So some of these people might not be the right fit for the business, but you can't, because of the Act and Employment Act, you can't just get rid of them. As well, you don't want to buy business to create unemployment. So you take these unskilled people, and some of them, they are skilled, but their skill is not aligned to the kind of culture and the business you want to build. Then you take them up for these opportunities that SITA gives to realign them to the retail that you want to build and the growth. And one thing I've realized, when I measured what would have made my business successful, I think in the past year, my retail business grew up by about 16%, which the industry was growing about 4%. I checked myself and I checked the other guys. What is it that our business is doing that the other guys are doing? Skills and economic growth go hand in hand. So by just skilling the people and giving them the right fit, you become, I said this last time, profitability is just something that people say, we want to be profitable, but they don't go and analyze how do you then become profitable. We become profitable by aligning the business to be productive. You need to be productive. But people just learn, there's nice words in English that you just mentioned, but if you go and look, how then do you become productive in business? You become productive by being efficient. But how does your staff become efficient? By having the right skills, by having capacity, by being confident. Because people in business, especially people that are employed for 15 years, very dangerous. 10 years, they just busy at work, files, clippers and whatnot, but they are not efficient. Then the business does not grow. But you see, people are here at work. You have 74 people working, but the business growth is 2%. Next year is 1%. Then you go and you want to console yourself. You say, no, but yeah, the country's economy is growing at 0.9%. But that, you are not the country's economy, you know? So if you are in business and you're not growing, one of the reasons might be you don't have the right people for the right fit. They are not capacitated. They are not confident to take the business decisions. So by skilling them, and last year I took 2 ladies to RMDP, your Retail Management Development Program, and they are halfway through it, and you can already see how they speak in business, how they negotiate for pricing with suppliers. And sometimes you want to go in the room, you find them just moving, and you just walk out. You like, I'm done, you know. And you move into the next room, and when you acquire the next business, which is what I go and do, I buy business that are struggling and try and revamp them and grow them. You already have a person who you can send to that business to go and take care of it, because you have already inculcated the culture in them, and they are so skilled that they don't need, if they are setting up GPs in retail, they know what they need to do. They don't outprice themselves out of the market. They don't need to call you to say, I'm reducing this from 20% to I'm increasing it to 13% because there's shortage of eggs in the country. No, they already are there because they are already interfacing with other people in the business. I'm not sure how I'm doing time-wise. So in 2023, I enrolled for ILDP, another abbreviation. It's an international development program that SITA has set specifically for wholesale and retail. And I'm saying specifically because you are not there with, you know, when you do an MBA or you do an MBL, you are in class with somebody who's doing economics somewhere, with a DG somewhere in Guyana. So you are not with the right, you are not with your own fit. Yeah, so you're not, what take nyana, so in the field. So this is, you are in a development program which is international, with 60 amazing cohort of people that are phenomenal. They are the best in their industry, but someone is a manager, someone is an accountant somewhere, and they come from different experiences, and you get to learn the industry, and you can somewhere just leverage on these people that are in Cape Town doing something that you're not doing here, and you get to learn and experience that life. It's not a theoretical thing. You are dealing with real life issues. You're dealing with things that are happening at ShopRite, that are happening at Clicks, and that are happening at Pick and Pay. You go back to your business, you apply them as they are, and you get to learn. You open your eyes. Martha was saying about Kenya and Namibia. Earlier this year, we went to Morocco. So when we were in Morocco, maybe just an opportunity that I must put out there. We are not doing business. South Africa is not doing business with Morocco. And Morocco is not a semi-arid, it's an arid country, so they don't have water. So we could easily leverage our business with one of our person who's up there. So when we were there, I'm a franchisee of Shell. So we went to visit a company called Wingso. Wingso is a Morocco-grown based. They developed a retail company of fuel and petroleum from scratch as Moroccans. Color, everything, they hire 100% Moroccan people. They are competing with Shell, they are competing with Total, they are number 3 in the country. So you can already see that people are thinking differently from where we are. Earlier on in the year, Shell said they are selling their shares in the business. You know, I could see I listened to SAFM's financial whatnot with a pinch of salt. Everybody, the country is going, it's going down. The country, investors are going. Why can't we step up as entrepreneurs to take the opportunity as black young entrepreneurs, as to step up in the thing and take away the industry, because we know the market is there. And we have stepped up. So another thing that you can benefit from the WNR-SETA, I've already mentioned the bursaries. They, when do they open? On the 1st of April? The bursaries? Yeah. So if you just go on the website of SETA, you'd see the opportunities they offer every year. There's learnerships. Learnerships move from, I think is 18, there's something called 18.2 learnerships, which are learnerships that are unemployed. So you take them, and SETA then offers them training, and they offer them a full stipend. You as an employer can choose to top it up a bit so that you retain them, but it gives you an opportunity to train people in your business and inculcate your own culture in them. And when opportunity of full employment gets opened in your business, you can take those unemployed people and give them a job. One of my professors from Gordon Business KIPS school says one day, last year, she says, we can't fix the world. You're not going to fix the world and leave it a better place by yourself. But all of us can fix a small part of our world where we are. So we sit and we marvel at, we sit at our braais, and at night we speak big English. Yeah, the unemployment in the country is, yeah, Ramaphosa this, yeah, this coalition is going to mess up unemployment. But we can fix unemployment as entrepreneurs, as small businesses. Martha said small business is big business. And I just decided that I will fix in the community that I am, get the unemployment student, give them training, give them the tools with the help of the SETA, and make them employable, not by me only, but by somebody else, because obviously I can't employ all of them. And I'm probably 0.0007% of employment. That 0.007, it's times by, last time, Martha, you said you guys have 16,000 people on your... These are levy-paying companies that are in the retail sector. But there is spaza shops, there is small markets and small businesses that are operating, employing 2, 6 people, 3 people. So these people don't have unemployment issues because the small business are taking care of that. And by skilling these people, you are literally just making your business so efficient that you are able to grow your business from, because another issue that we always have, it's this thing of small business. We should not you should not be a small business in 2024 and be a small business in 2034. So you should always try to grow so quickly. That's why I spoke about growth. So you need to see what is stifling my growth. So when you grow, when next time I come here, I can't come here in 2034 and come and speak about when they introduce me just again, I'm in the small businesses again. So we need to grow, and if we pull together as all of us and we develop the skills, we would easily move from micro to small to medium. Soon you will be whoever group, which is one of the business. So just a takeaway for me, my last point is that WNR SITA is offering a lot of myriad of opportunities, and please don't apply for all of them. And if you don't get this one, you'll get the next one. But if you go about it the right way and you register and you check your levies that are correctly, and we need to pay SARS as well. We should not see SARS as this person who is, because for a development of a country, we need to make sure that we contribute. And even if I'm contributing and you are benefiting, tomorrow after you benefit, you're contributing and somebody else will benefit. Because the people that are benefiting are the gogos that are running the businesses in our township where we grow up and in the villages. So we need to make sure that we contribute and we identify the skills that are needed, and we train our employees. Don't be afraid to say, no, after I've trained this one, he's gonna leave me. Let them live. And when they leave, they go somewhere else, they make a difference. Then you train the next person. You see, it's a nice belt that keeps churning out people and accommodating newer people. And I can guarantee you, WNR SITA, it's not a favor for me. They are not doing me a favor. It's money that you have already contributed yourself that you're getting back in your business as those discretionary grants and those mandatory grants that are there. But if you don't follow the right procedures and you submit your WSPs and you have you appoint an SLOs, you would not do that. But all of these things are there on their website, and they advertise everything. You just fill up the forms. They are easy. They are sometimes difficult, but you have an SLO who can help you do that. With those few words, I would say thank you.
Isn't he amazing? Don't you all want to be like him? I know I do. I think that we'd like to give you much more. So we are going to add 2 more speakers, although we're going to give them, just some small slots later, just so that you can understand and understand more about what's happening in the industry. Without taking too much time, let's move on and call Mr. Fred Arendse, who is our next speaker. And just a brief intro about Mr. Fred Arendse. He's a seasoned executive with an extensive business management experience, and he's also experienced in the mining sector. He's a group CEO of SSC Group, and previously he was the head of transformation at Anglo Platinum. Mr. Fred, please may you grace us with your presence and give us some nuggets. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Where is Desmond? Desmond. Desmond. Okay, thank you. And Tommy, doctor, let me say doctor. You know, you didn't study for nothing. So let me recognize doctor. I'm representing also the Black Business Council, the mining cluster of our institution. And what she was saying, encouraging you to join us, you will not make a mistake in joining us. So I also would like to encourage you to join us. Also want to recognize, you know, our seasonal entrepreneur and chemical engineer. What my sister didn't say, you know, yes, I'm currently an executive, but I'm actually an entrepreneur. And that is the topic that I was asked to speak about. So I want to apologize up front, okay? Because I might say something that might offend you. Secondly, I might say something and you will think, what an arrogant guy. So I want to apologize up front. So if I do that, please accept my apology. But when I was asked, and I'm also very tired, I just came from overseas trip, so I'm actually talking in my sleep. But when I was asked to come and share a couple of words with you guys and ladies this morning, when my office says, are you available? Because according to your diary, you're not available. I said, listen, in Afrikaans, maak 'n plan. Because I would like to go and honor this invitation and share. And the purpose of me here is not by, you know, mistake, is by design. And I want to start. I will show you a little bit of a couple of slides just on the group that I've started 19 years ago. So just to give you a context of the group that I'm running and busy building. And I've also prepared a very short speech. So while I was traveling, you know, I said what I want to share. So I prepared a speech because when I start talking about entrepreneurship, I don't stop. And because of time constraints, I had to write a speech. But importantly, I want to share a story with you, which is a personal story, which is a real story. Because when you share your experience with others, you hope and you pray that they will learn from you. So what you don't know of me, and I'm sure when this invitation was extended to all of us, you got to know, okay, who's going to be the speakers. Am I right or not? No, you didn't know that I will be speaking, for an example. You didn't know. Okay. Nice surprise. I'm from the Western Cape, born and bred in a small town called Tilbach. Those who've been in the Western Cape? None of you. Anyone been in the Western Cape? The province of the, what is it called now? Government of National Unity of the Western Cape. The DA. You've been there. No, a small township, a colored township out of Cape Town. Coming from my late parents, you know, my father was working in a gardener, and my mother was a domestic. I'm the youngest of the clan, the family, and I'm the only one who's got a degree in the family. I was blessed to be recruited by a company called JCI, part of the Anglo-American group almost 30 years ago, and I ended up in Witbank. And I started my career in the coal mines, and then I moved up to Rustenburg when I worked at Anglo Platinum on the mines, and then ended up at head office, and my last job was the head of transformation. I've always been the youngest on my level. I've never apologized for the hard work that I always put in when I was building my career. But when you do this in the mining, and I'm the mining sector, the only thing I know is mining, the mining business. But when you're in a corporate career in a big company, you're young. I was 29 years old. I was the youngest on my level ever in the history of Anglo-American. But you also become a target. This guy. And what happened to me, 2005, I got fired by this company which I love, that I built my career. highest, consistent, highest performer, got fired. I'm 29 years old. I've got 2 kids. This is my son, Morgan Lee. He got a degree a couple of weeks ago. He's got a degree, but he's the lowest paid in the company. And I told him, if you want to become a CEO one day, you start there. So he was still a baby, got fired. And my brother mentioned, you know, you work for a big company, you're driving a car, and I had an M5. Okay? I'm into fast cars, by the way. I had an M5, you know, I was a meneer. Got fired. Not because I did something wrong, but this guy, let's get rid of this guy. I was promoted every 13 months of my career level. And they said, this guy. When I was called in by the CEO, before I got fired, identify one of the future leaders of Anglo-American. One of 4 guys. The 3 guys, we were 4. The 3 guys became CEOs. Okay? I got fired. And when my boss then said, hey, this guy, let's get rid of him. And he got rid of me. But God had a plan. God had a plan. He put a purpose on my life. And also I was comfortable. I was earning a lot of money. I was a meneer. He says, I want you out of this company. I want you to go and build your own. I want you to make changes. I want you to make differences. I want you to bless other people. I want you to build. And you're not going to build if you're going to stay here. So I'm going to get you fired. Now then I didn't understand. Because remember, I've got small kids, no money. Guys, do you know how it feels not to have money? But do you know how it feels to you when you have money? There's 2 things. Not yet. I'm sharing with you, and you can take it with you today. You can share it with your husband, your wife, or your kids. Or you can reject me and say, man, we don't give a damn. This guy. Shame. Or, yeah, happy that you got fired. Yeah, well done. But God had a purpose. And 19 years later, I built this group. And if I didn't get fired, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have been here. So, all of us, we must ask, what is our purpose? Most of us, all of us want a good life, a better life. Now, I always say, and I said to my kids, if you want a better life, you build a better life. Because I come out of a very poor family. Very poor. I mean, I didn't have a cupboard in my house, in my room. I stayed in. When I explain this to people, they say, Fred, you live in Sandton. Hey, man, hey, we saw you in a Lamborghini. Hey, Wena, you got a yellow Ferrari. Hey, we saw in Cape Town with a GT3. Yeah, it's my cars. But I didn't have that before. Because I remembered when I left Anglo, and then had an M5, because when you start a business, he will tell you. I had to buy a Reynolds McGann 1.6. I don't know if you guys know what a Reynolds McGann. It's a very small car. You know. That was my car when I started a business. Coming from Anglo, we only drove BMWs. But when you started the business out of your garage, you had to buy a Reynolds McGann. I says, I'm buying a Reynolds McGann, 123,000 when it cost me. And I was a laughing stock of my ex-colleagues. They say, look at him now. Look at him. Hood bars Anglo, look at him. Look. Today when they, and I remember when I was 40 years old, my wife invited some of my ex-colleagues. And by the way, I'm 50 now. Okay, so I'm one of the elders here. And my 40th birthday party 10 years ago, when these colleagues walk past my garage, they ask, you see, here's a 458 Ferrari in the garage. They ask, whose car is this? So one of the guys says, whose house is this? Do you have your neighbor's car parked in your garage? This is the same people that were mocking you. When you had this Reynolds McGann, we started your business out of nothing. I put everything on my Anglo Platinum pension money, I put it in the business. And I put the belief and the vision in this business when nobody believed. When everybody was laughing. And you will laugh at me today because some of these people are actually working for the group. Because I don't carry grudges. I'm just doing what God says, this is what you need to do. The point I'm making for entrepreneurs, I'm sitting here today, what you believe is what you can achieve. And I'm talking out of experience. You know, people, and I always say to my son, there's two ways of success or a better life. Not success, a better life. One, you steal, and we've seen the Zondo movie. We've seen the Zondo movie, yeah? There's one way, steal, okay? And end up there or go in jail. Or you do the hard yards, you build from scratch. Those regret letters, when you put in your proposal, you say, "Dear Mr. Arons, we regret to," you've seen that? And what I've done, I invest as disappointment because I believe one day this will be dividends into my pocket. And that's why today when I drive those fancy cars and I have building a good life, I refuse to apologize. I refuse to apologize. Because it is out of sweat and hard work and belief in His God's plan and His purpose. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot overstress that. What you believe, even if someone don't, that is what you will achieve. When we had our 90th anniversary in February, and I will reflect and look back, and I said, thank God, thank to my wife that believe. You know, when you have a wife, you have a partner that believe in you. Because when my wife met me 28 years ago, hey guys, when you look at this one, shame. You know. No car, no money. You know, when she came to our house in Tilburg, you know, you guys can relate. Your toilet is outside. You've grew up. I mustn't assume. Some of you grew up in a house, toilet outside. Okay, you wash in a basin. You know, you cook the water. You know, the boil the water for. So when my wife, but she believed in me. She believed in the vision. She believed God put her in my life for a reason. And I couldn't have achieved what I've done this far. And I haven't achieved much. But it's because of her and the grace of God on my life. But I'm not a preacher. I'm here to share. So what I would like to do is just to take you to a couple of slides of the group. We have a website. You can take time and go go on the website. But also importantly, I just want to share, this speech that I especially prepared, for you. But the last thing I want to say, just as a thought, and I've heard this earlier on, and it's something that I don't like, is the word hustle. And I apologize for people that believe in it, but I hate that word hustle. I'm hustling. Hey, Fred, I am hustling. You will hustle until you die. What I encourage us to build organizations. If you're an entrepreneur, try to build an organization of skilled people that my brother mentioned earlier on. Build an organization. And every time I refuse. If somebody says, "Hey, Fred, I wanna have a coffee with you," and I ask, if you're a hustler, go phone someone else. But if you're serious about building something, I'll give you my time for free. Because us, especially black people, we've got this mentality of, shame. And that's why I also hate this SME, because it's like we never graduate. You know? And I always, on the 13th of December last year, when we had a session with the cabinet, I said, government should focus, this unemployment, yes, we can quote statistics. If you build multiple businesses, unemployment, it doesn't matter how long it takes, money will come to you. Okay? And if there's don't chase money, you don't focus on profit. In very brief, this presentation is available. I have made it available to Desmond, which is working for the CETA. I'm going to ask him then to share it, if you want it, to share it with whoever wants that presentation. Okay, is that fair? Okay. So then I'm going to just get straight into my speech, which I've prepared for you. if you allow me. Today we gather to celebrate a force that holds the power to transform our society, energize our economy, and inspire a brighter future for our country. This force is entrepreneurship, the bold endeavor of creating, innovating, and leading ventures that not only drive economic growth, but also build sustainable futures. But today we are not here to celebrate the government of national unity or the GBV, given the abuse that we've seen of Jan Zille. Even when I was overseas last week, I was reading, I said, hey, I'm out of the country, but look what's going on. Jan Zille is something else. In the heart of every entrepreneur lies a dream, a vision to carve out a new path where none exists before. This dream is not just a personal aspiration, but a beacon of hope for our nation. South Africa stands at a crossroad at the moment, where challenges we face can be overwhelming. High unemployment, social inequality, economic instability are daunting. But within these challenges lie unique opportunities for entrepreneurs to emerge as a catalyst for change. Entrepreneurship is the engine of economic growth. It is through the innovative ideas and tireless efforts of entrepreneurs that's here today that new businesses are born, creating jobs and stimulating economic activity. Every new venture injects fresh energy in our economy, fostering a culture of innovation and competition. This dynamic environment encourages continuous improvement, driving our industries to reach new heights, efficiencies that our engineer spoke about, and also productivity. Consider the ripple effect of a single successful startup. It begins with a small team, a handful of employees united by a shared vision. As the business grows, it creates more opportunities, not just within the company, but also for suppliers, partners, and service providers. This growth spreads wealth, reduces poverty, and enhances the standard of living for countless families. Entrepreneurs are not just building businesses, they're also building communities, uplift entire neighborhoods, and contributing to our nation's prosperity. But economic growth alone is not enough. We must also strive for sustainability, a balance where economic progress does not come at the expense of our environment or future generations. This is where the true value of entrepreneurship shines. Entrepreneurs are uniquely positioned to drive sustainable development by incorporating eco-friendly practices and leveraging renewable resources and promoting social responsibility in their business models. Sustainable businesses recognize that long-term success depends on a healthy environment and a stable society. By embracing sustainability, entrepreneurs can lead the way yourself in combating climate change that we've heard about at endless times, reducing waste, and promoting ethical practices. We are so tired of hearing corruption when we refer to businesses in South Africa. Corruption is real, but it's not enough just talk about it. There has to be action. And we, as entrepreneurs and business people, have to do our bit to ensure that we operate ethically. These efforts will not only protect our planet, our society, our people, but it will also grow the market of conscious consumers who will demand responsibility and transparency. And it's more so when you do business with international companies. Moreover, entrepreneurs foster a culture of resilience, adaptability. The journey of entrepreneurship is filled with challenges, failures, and setbacks. Yet, it's through these experiences that entrepreneurs learn, grow, and innovate. And here I talk for myself. This resilience is crucial for the broader economy as it creates a business environment that can withstand shocks and recover from crises. Now, I'm operating in the mining sector, and we all know mining is cyclical. The gold price at the moment is high. Platinum price dropped by 75%. So we have to have the ability to adapt when we are faced with these crises. In South Africa, we have a rich pool of talent, creativity, and potential. Our diversity is our strength, and our young population. I've noticed a lot of young people in this room. Is a wellspring of untapped potential. By nurturing entrepreneurial spirit, we can unlock this potential and empower people to drive their own destinies. Education and mentorship are key in these endeavors. What this CETA is doing is absolutely key, particularly from a skills development point of view. We must invest in our youth, provide them with skills and knowledge they need, and create a supportive ecosystem that encourage risk-taking and innovation. Let us also recognize the importance of inclusive entrepreneurship. Through economic growth and sustainability can be achieved when all members of society have the opportunity to participate and succeed. This means breaking down barriers for women, minorities, and marginalized communities, and the majority, ensuring that everyone has a fair chance to contribute and benefit from our nation's prosperity. So as we look into the future, let us commit to fostering an environment wherever we are, whatever business we're busy building, an environment where entrepreneurship can flourish. Let us support our entrepreneurs with the resources, the networks, and there I'm not referring to political connections. Please do not make the mistake that we think that political connection is capital. That is your deposit to the corruption bank. Ladies and gentlemen, hear what I'm telling you. And as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, when you see I've got friends who got mines, and I said, there was a time I said, yo, I wish, but I also knew how they got it. I said, no. I would rather take long. God, please help us. I had to take long. But I'm not going to look behind left to the right, because I owe 4 ministers because they facilitated the money and the opportunity. Please, let us resist. In conclusion, entrepreneurship is more than just a career choice. It's a powerful vehicle for economic growth, which our country needs, and sustainable development. It's a testament of human spirit. It's a testament of human spirit's capacity to dream, to create, and to overcome. And us as black people, we are experts in overcoming difficulties. Let's convert that into something special. So by embracing and supporting entrepreneurship, we can chart a course towards a brighter, more prosperous future for South Africa. A future where every individual has the opportunity to thrive and to innovate and to contribute to the greater good in our country. I thank you for the opportunity, and I thank you for your time for me just to share a story, and my story, which is a real story. And as I said, and as you embark and continue building your business, never lose your vision. And it doesn't matter if no one else believes it. As long as you believe it and you trust it and you believe in God's grace, you will achieve. Thank you.
Inspiring. I must say, I'm also inspired by the fact that, and I know there's quite a few of what I'm going to be talking about now. Fred brought his son. How many other family members are here together? I know Dr. Mabasa is here with his son, Gitumetse. I know I'm here with my daughter, Dikeleto. I know my aunt or cousin is here with her daughter, Nandi, and all of which are graduates, by the way. I mean, people with masters. Nandi's got a PhD. You've got a BCom. And honestly speaking, some of the stuff that we're sharing here, you are not going to get it in a university. It's a fact. You know, so I think I'd like to take this moment and actually just highlight the work that the SETAs are doing. And in so doing, just really, Martha, big up to you as a team, of course in partnership with ourselves as a BBC, to say the work that you're doing does not go unnoticed. We really, really appreciate. Because, you know, we sit in those lecture rooms and stuff, but we don't get this. This is what, for me, makes the economy work. So thank you for making the economy work. Thank you so much. We have a team from just some international exposure from our brothers from, I think it's from Kenya. So I think just to give them some airtime, for them to share with us their experience with regard to the topic at hand. Masedi, who are they? I'm mindful of time as well, but I also want us to engage, because I think there's time that is allocated for us to just hear from the team as well with regard your inputs. And so a team from Zetec from Kenya. Somebody from Zetec? So perhaps just one of you can share with us your experience. Are you coming from Zetec? Thank you so much. So of course I don't have your profile, so if you can introduce yourself and just give us some nuggets related to the topic at hand for us. Thank you so much.
Hello guys. Ish. I am a bit scared. I have stage fright. Okay, my name is Tembelani Mahlangeni, and then this is Tabang Murwesi, one of the team that went to Kenya because of WRCTA. I'm really excited about going to Kenya because after we went there, my business specifically it deals about electronics and Wi-Fi, solar systems. So before I went to Kenya, I was using my business as a cookie jar. So every time I made some profit, I'll buy some fancy things. So when WRCTA gave me an opportunity to go to Kenya, that's when I started realizing life can be so nice if I focus more. Because when I went there, I saw so many businessmen, besides the difficulties and how easy things are for us here in SA, compared to that side. That side, it's really hard. People, they're working 24 hours that side. There's no time for having fun. Even nightlife, it's limited that side. You don't drink during the course of the week. And then even Friday, when you start drinking, there's a specific time frame you use to drink that side. So they are more focused that side, and it's very exciting to see those things and see that how playful we are mostly here in South Africa. But it was an opportunity for us it was a wake-up call, I meant to say. So after that, when I came, when we came back for the very first time, we managed to get mentorship from Zetec University, and then that was sponsored by WRCTA. And then for the very first time, I made about 181K, and I was very excited. That's one of the moments that I took seriously. I thought, if I managed to make this, let me not waste this money. And then I managed to buy a company car, and then I branded it and even the branding looks amazing. Well, when I'm driving, when I'm driving around towns, people, they are looking at that branding. And to be honest, that branding, I didn't create it to attract people. I was creating what I love. And then I was shocked that people are loving it as well. Okay, let me hand to
Hello, hello. Okay, me, I don't have much to say, but I just want to talk a few things. Before I went to Kenya, I was thinking of leaving the business because I thought that I'm playing. So for me to go to Kenya helped me a lot because after I came back from Kenya, I then started hardly on my business. And I also say thanks to WRNCTA for what they did for me. And they also gave us a grant, about 15K. From that grant, I managed to buy a meaty cutting machine and a generator because of this load shedding. I also say thanks again to WRNCTA for helping me.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gugu Koza, founder of Honey's Beauty Hub, and also a WRNCTA beneficiary. I was one of those people that went to Kenya. Firstly, I just want to applaud everyone who's here because I'm a WRNCTA beneficiary. But by coming here, I actually uncovered a lot of things that I didn't know about WRNCTA. Like, for instance, the DG. We're actually, because after coming back from Kenya, I employed 8 people and 2 temporary people, right? Thank you so much. And so we were actually talking about this with my colleagues, actually wondering how can we make an impact that is noticeable in the government, because we already there's people that look up to us. Before we went to Kenya, I was just trading alone. I came back, I employed. The business has grown, it has grown. And there are those people that look up to us, especially in the townships. People that come to us for mentorship, we even bought some of the guys that we actually share what we've learned with so that they can hear themselves what WRNCTA does. So people come to us, they look up to us, they see us as those examples, and we need to actually maintain that standard and grow bigger than what we were before, and each and every month try to achieve something that is better than what you were the previous month or the previous year. So what I learned today, the DG, it's going to take us to another level, because now we have something to take back to the community and say, guys, come to my salon, I'll teach you how to do this and this and this, I'll teach you how to manufacture skincare products, WRNCTA will give you stipend. At the end of the day, it's up to you. Whether you're going to take that stipend, start your own business, or you're going to eat that money, it's your choice. I'm here as a mentor. If you want to grow and make a good impact in the economy of the country, you'll do that. If you don't want to, it's up to you, because change starts with you. If you want to make the change, you have to do the change. If you don't want to, honestly, there's nothing the government can do to change your mindset. It's a personal thing. But personally, I would like to say thank you so much, WRNCTA. We thought we know everything about WRNCTA, and no, we didn't. So it's very important to actually attend these events, because every time we go to an event, WRNCTA event, we go back to the organization, we have something new to implement, another strategy, another growth. We are growing. When I started the journey, it was 2021, I had an idea. And then they said, even if you have an idea, it's fine. I went to the classes, and then from the stipend, I started my business. They came back to check the progress. I was still in business. They recruited. We went to Kenya. After Kenya, we implemented. The growth was there. And they still, even now, still keen to assist us even further, so that we move from being small business to medium businesses and so forth and so on. So I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Okay, can I say one more thing? Okay, thank you about that. Okay, no problem. There's this one word Mata said when we were at Vet University. She said it's a lonely world out there. She was specifically talking to the entrepreneurs. What I'm trying to say is that, especially guys, I don't know about ladies, what they normally do when they have money. When you got a lot of money, don't be dating too many girls. Because it's one of the things that makes a lot of black businessmen not to be successful. It's because even if you can have lots of friends, but you can't have them both, success and friends, you can't. Thank you, ma'am.
So you see, when you come to these, you also learn about other life skills. You know, what not to do as gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached a point where we're going to take some questions. I'm going to ask our speakers to be ready and to take the questions. We are going to have a roving mic. And in fact, before I do that, so lunch is going to be served in the restaurant. You were given each a voucher, and it's going to be on the first floor. It is on the first floor, and it's going to be at 1. But I think that we will, Masedi, until when? We're supposed to be until 12, no? But can we go until at least about 12:15? Is that okay? Okay, sure. So we have approximately about 30 minutes of questions, of interacting, and of course getting answers from our esteemed speakers. Let's start. So I'll take the first round of questions. Maybe let's take the first 3, and then we'll take the second batch. Any hands? I recognize you. So it's you first, ma'am. It is you second, ma'am, and then number 3 at the back. So when you start, please may you stand up, introduce yourself, and then your question. Please may I ask you to be brief so that we can cover as many people as we possibly can. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bohlale Tsotezi. I'm a qualified interior designer, and I own an interior design company. My question, I've got 2 sets of questions. So the first one is for Ndata Josta. How can Africans across Africa unite in creating our very own Microsoft? So not specifically Microsoft, but our very own leading company. And then the second one is, how can we bridge the gap in making trade in Africa smooth sailing like we do when we interact abroad?
The next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Masiti Desiree Mako. So I just want to find out about the discretionary grants. So in a case where our company is not paying levies because we do not reach maybe 500,000 per annum, what can you advise the company to do? Because most of these discretionary grants, they would want you to, they would tell you that you need to be a levy-paying company. So I just need some clarity on that, what can be done, and so forth. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Good morning. My question is to Mr. Arendse. My name
Your
is
name, please, sir?
Yes, my name is Fumu Msiska. It was a good story, inspiring story, which we have got from Mr. Arendse. So he has mentioned that one of the things which is important is to build networks. But he was saying that he's not talking about political networks, so I take it that it's business networks. So can he assist us? How does one go about from scratch in the process of building a network which can assist you in your business venture? Thank you.
I think let's take this first round of questions, and then we'll go for the next round. Thank you so much. Bohlali's question was to
Buhlali, my answer is very practical. The biggest online food groceries website is Checkers 360. I know it's my competitor. I'm not supposed to be saying that. They hold 65% of the market of online purchases, digital technology. And the reason why we are not at the cutting edge is because we are only talking about 360 now, that we can buy on it. But in 2015, a lady called Kimberly, she was from Wits University, created an app, an algorithm actually, not an app, called it Traveling Salesperson. And 2015, that's almost a decade ago. The algorithm that she wrote about in her, that she founded then, is the one that is working now. So the future of brick and mortar business is very shaky. I'm sure you, if I open your phone, you have Temu and Shein and whatever and all these other things. So the future is there, but it's going. So if you don't start thinking of 10 years, you must not look for a solution for now if you want to build the next Microsoft. So you need to start thinking of a solution for the future, because the future is coming. The future is green. The future is conservation. The future is the future without a lot of water. The future is the future without energy, without fuel. I know I'm in fuel, but without fuel. So all those things are coming, but we are not taking care of them now. So if you want to find a solution for Africa to be at the cutting edge, you need to be futuristic. I think that's I won't give you the idea, but yeah.
Thank you. There was a question from Desiree with regard to discretionary grants. I think that's for Martha.
Thank you for that question, quite important. So as the WNR-CETA, we do not limit ourselves to the companies that are paying levies or not. I mean, these guys who were talking there, for example, they're not paying levies, but we got to spend probably about 200,000 on each one of them. So what we also encourage, particularly organizations or people, is just to organize yourselves. Our discretionary grants are exactly that, discretionary, which means that we are able to look at innovative initiatives that we can fund. So they are not only limited to companies, retailers. So you could be a training provider and you have identified a unique need in your community, for example. So if you come into us and you say you've got a group of young people that you can actually support
around entrepreneurship so that they can start their own businesses, we can come in and support you in that. So what we normally advise people is that you need to look at there's a document that we called a sector skills plan. So basically, that is our Bible, if I can call it that, or the blueprint for the sector. It basically tells us where is the sector, where are the opportunities in terms of growing the sector. So we spoke about earlier entrepreneurship being about solving a problem. So as the retail sector, as the WNR sector, we've got too many problems. So the sector skills plan will give you a glimpse of some of those challenges. So you look into that and you say, okay, here's the problem. How can I solve it? So you need to find that opportunity. There's a lot of organizations that we work with. Some, they come into us and they say, we're going to train people with disabilities. That is also a challenge in the retail space. So if they have the know-how, obviously, that we obviously cannot just give a project to anybody. We need to make sure that you are able to actually implement that particular project. So we can find you. If you say you've got a young, we once had a company that came to us and they said that they want to train local young people to be able to do deliveries for Take-A-Lot, for example. We know that, no offense to anyone who is not South African, but we know that it's dominated by foreigners. But how do we create opportunities for our young people? Then they came in with us and they said, okay, can you guys train these people? Then we'll get them training on how to run a business, to operate the scooters and all of that. And now they even bought them the scooters and they are now in business. So it's about partnership. So if there's something that you can bring onto the table, we can bring something also onto the table. We are always welcome to receive such ideas. So we do advertise those discretionary grants, as you've indicated, but there's also something that we call special projects. And that's exactly what it is. So also with the special projects, we advertise and we say, anyone, anywhere, whether you're in South Africa or outside South Africa, do we have a unique idea that can solve some of our challenges? Then submit that particular proposal to be considered. Okay. Do you have a follow-up through?
Just something that she said. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm the head of the training and skills development. So of course I did see that discretionary grant that closed on the 7th of May, and I did apply. So I think I'm on the right track. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there was a last question around building networks.
Who was asking the question? Okay.
It was Fungi.
Zungi.
Fungi.
Fungi, I'm going to give you my business card. But I want to encourage you, in terms of building networks, is to attend the right type of events, okay? Secondly, when you build a network, network with people that you want to be like, that you aspire to be. Thirdly, I'm going to extend you 2 offers. 1, and I want to encourage you to consider joining the BBC, because it's also a platform to build networks with the right people. And I will contribute 25% of the fee. Okay?
Thanks so much.
Why 25%? Because you have to invest yourself. So I will contribute that, and the last offer I'm going to make to you is that I will extend an invitation as a guest to you at one of the supercar events where you will meet very different type of people you don't see every day. And that is how you build the relationships. Okay. And the last thing I want, a tip, when we attend events, and people make this mistake many times, when you meet people of influence, the first thing you want to talk about is business. Never do that. Finding out about tenders, where's the opportunities. You don't ask billionaires for an opportunity. You talk about value that you can create for them. Then you will get their attention. Just some tips in terms of building networks. Thank you.
Very, very powerful. Thank you so much. Let's take the second round of questions. I've noted you, number 1. Number 2. Okay, 3, the gentleman in front. So let's start with you, sis. Again, please give us your name. Short question or comment. Okay, let's try the second person. If we're still, do they have a speak? Okay, we'll come to you, sis, as you get.
Good day, everyone. My name is Braina Matechana. I'm here wearing a cap of a skills development provider. From Murero Agricultural Academy, we are offering learnerships or training young farmers with one of the simplest strategic objective, which is to encourage youth and local farmers within those communities to produce their own food within their own household gardens. Now, I got excited as I'm listening to. Now, the first thing that came to my mind was, how can I get hold of the SLO? Unlike just the way they had to call him to, can I come see you? How can I get hold of the SLO? Or how can the SLO get hold of us? Because with this learnerships, one of the things that we emphasize is that they must form cooperatives or register and be part of the SMMEs, so that even after 12 months, when we have left, they are able to still continue producing their own food. But now they have got produce. What do they do with this produce? Then it means they are retailers. They have to sell them, which now says to me, we are no longer on the agriculture only. We are now going to the wholesale and retail sector. How does one, or how do we become part of the wholesale and retail sector database, or get accredited with them, or these learners or the SMMEs? How does one make sure that they belong or they are part of wholesale and retail sector?
Thank you so much. I think Martha will answer that. Do you have a mic now, sis? Please may we empower the lady with the mic?
Thank you. My question, oh, by the way, it's Gugu Koza. My question goes to Mr. Fred. So, like I mentioned earlier on, Mr. Fred, that when we came back from Kenya, there's a couple of people, especially in the township, that look up to us. So we decided to form an organization or an association, because that's what we learn on the other side as well, that having an association, it's important, right? So myself, Nkuli, Tembelani, and other beneficiaries, we decided that we'll start this association. Specifically, we target the retail. So we can't argue that the retail does have so much or contributes so much employment in the country. But now what we are lacking, we lack mentorship. We also realize that without a good mentor or a mentorship, you're less likely planning to fail. So we were actually asking if there's any programs maybe that you have regarding that type of training, or will you be able to avail yourself to just give us the head, since, well, you are the founder of a group. So what to do, what not to do, and just give us like the ins and outs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gugu. I think you are next. Please may you furnish the gentleman in front here with the mic.
My name is Sipho Mutsele from Pehole Training. I think the lady has answered some of the questions, because my question was more on informal businesses. that there are people who are getting opportunities from WNR-SETA. Now my question is, how does WNR-SETA spread this gospel to the lower level? Because we have realized that there are a lot of informal businesses. They don't know about these opportunities. But as I say, that the lady I think has answered some of the questions through networks and maybe associations. But on the side of WNR-SETA, what are other mechanisms that you are using to reach the lower level, especially on informal business? Thank you.
Thank you. I think I'll squeeze in one more question. I think perhaps we make it the last one.
Good day, everybody. My name is Katlego Motlagodisa. I'm from the village called Disane in Northwest under the municipality of Ratlo. My question is to WRC that this kind of programs, what is your intention of taking it to the rurals, villages? Because I'm raising it on the concept that in that village, there's a rural, what we call a rural economy, where the spaza shops are clearly, strictly owned by illegal foreign nations or the Somalians and stuff. And those are the retail where the young people in those villages needs to tap into. Because for an example, all people who are earning money in that village where I'm from, 90% they are getting money from grant. The whole money is being spent to those foreign nations. That means the whole money is going outside the country. So as I'm running SMME, I'm running a company that deal consulting, helping young people to register to comply, to register to other accreditation, license of petroleums and environmental, NCR and stuff. So I would like to take this kind of program to, not in my village per se, but it must go to the rural of the rurals because they don't even have a data to stream. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please may we have our guests respond. Firstly to Braina. Your question was to Mathakir. Okay.
If it's okay, Program Director, can I just do all my questions
Certainly.
all at once? All
With
right.
pleasure.
Thank you. So the issue that you raised around farmers, okay, so I think there were two questions that you raised. One was around accreditation. So accreditation, there is a process of getting extension of scope, that is through QCTO. So I think as you would know that CETAs no longer do accreditation as such. So you need to go via the QCTO to get that kind of extension of scope. We can give you details of one of our quality assurers in the province where you are actually based. So, I mean, the issue around access to markets, it's a huge issue. We've got people who've got product, but where does the product end up? It needs to find its way into onto retail shelves. So I think you'll understand that as the WNR-SETA, that is not our primary role as such, right? However, we've taken it upon ourselves to say we cannot just train people and leave them there. What would be the next step in terms of supporting them? So in terms of the farming project that you have spoken about specifically, we had a partnership with Boxer Superstores. You know that they are one of the biggest retailers in South Africa, whereby we took some small-scale farmers, we trained them, because access to markets also has got to do with you as an entrepreneur, as a business, understanding what are the requirements for you to
to actually list your products on retail shelves. Sometimes I create something and I'm like, yay, this is absolutely brilliant, without actually understanding the compliances and other issues that the business is looking into. In my eyes, you know, it's a wow, but it might not actually meet the requirements of the retailer. So we then entered into this partnership with Boxer Superstores. Then they took these farmers through their processes, you know, to say this is what we need, this is the quality issues and all of that. And they also skill them around entrepreneurship, because that's also very important. Just because you're a farmer doesn't mean that you shouldn't run your business like a proper business. So that was also quite important, that they empower them to run their businesses as such. And the success story we had from that project is that we took about 300 small-scale farmers. It was the first time, it was a pilot, and about 110 of them today, I'm talking to you, they are supplying Boxer, Choppies, and other retailers.
Amazing.
So that was quite big for us. I mean, I'm looking at that lady there that you see, the spinach lady. You see, she has a trolley. She started supplying Boxer with that trolley. Today she's got a truck, she's got vans, she's got all sorts of things. So, right? So we do have such success stories. What we also do, we work with the Consumer Goods Council of South Africa. So they represent some of the largest retailers in South Africa, CGCSA. Remember that name and do knock on their doors. Tell them I said so. So what we also do with the CGCSA, again, it's around enabling access to markets. So we work with the CGCSA. They take manufacturers, small manufacturers, and they take them through the compliance issues, and they actually help them to list their products on some of the retailers. We've had successes again. There's a lady who's now supplying her ice cream to Pick n Pay. We've got some of our beneficiaries that are not only supplying in South Africa, but they're also supplying outside the country. So we do have such initiatives. So if you want to know about more about the Access to Markets program, please contact the CGCSA. Then they will give you more information around that. I hope I've responded to that adequately. Then the other issue around how do we spread this good news of skills development around the rural areas. So as a SETA, we do try our best. I think you will understand that our country is wide, it's vast, and all of that. And technology also just doesn't allow us, in some instances, to penetrate to those areas. But what we've also done as a SETA is that we've got provincial offices across the entire country. We probably the only SETA that is present in all the 9 provinces of South Africa. We also work with TVET colleges. So some of we've got presence in TVET colleges. We know that TVET colleges are also closer to township areas. They're also closer to some of the rural areas, because we're trying to get as close to the people as possible. We are an organization of about 250 people. So you can imagine how huge the country is. So obviously we will have some limitations. But what we also encourage is that the people whose lives we impact, they have got to become ambassadors. Our programs, for example, the ITAME that targets informal traders, it's not in township areas, and we're very intentional about it to say that it's meant for rural, it's meant for township, right? Because we understand, and I'm also just going to touch to the last question about what's happening with the foreign-owned spaza shops. So we understand that is the real challenge for South Africa. So we're saying that if we train Tembelani must go and tell other people around here.
You know, he must become an ambassador. And I think you'll remember when I started, when I spoke earlier this morning, and I introduced Josta, I said he's an ambassador. I've got Candice there. She's an ambassador. She's gone on our international program, so she can tell somebody else. So if we can really adopt the issue of each one, teach one, we are really going to make an impact. Because of the 2,700 informal traders that are in rural areas, that are in township, if each and every one of those spread the gospel, that will be very, very effective. So once we have gained knowledge, once we have been equipped, go and assist other people. Assist us. Like I said, we are a 200-odd member organization. So as you can imagine, it's not possible to be everywhere. So we do also come into the communities when we are called. We received a lot of requests from communities to say, please come and talk to us about what you do when there are events. So we do quite a bit of advocacy. This is also advocacy. It might be happening in an urban area, but we also do honor invitations, and we do try as much as we can to reach out to the other areas, particularly township areas. So around the issue of taking the programs onto the rural areas, so I think I've indicated that the item made is specifically for township and rural, but we also do have other programs that we implement in partnership with other institutions, as I've indicated, through our discretionary grant. So, but the other thing that we also need to be real about is that our young people are also leaving the township and rural areas. That's the reason why we find ourselves with businesses that are owned by foreigners, because you know, they feel that there are no opportunities, then they leave. Then who is left behind, right? The Gogos. Can we really say that the Gogos must continue the legacy? They cannot. They've run their race, and we now need to take over and run to the next step. So as the CETA, that is also one of our priorities, that when we implement programs, particularly entrepreneurship, we want to encourage our young people to stay in the rural areas, to create their own opportunities, because they all flock into towns to fight for very limited opportunities. Some of them, they end up destitute and all sorts of things, whereas they can actually remain behind and start their opportunities. So one of the programs, I know we've had a partnership with the South African Youth something. There were about 1,000 young people that we took on, and they've started businesses, and they are remaining in the township and the rural areas. So that is our bid, our contribution to rural revitalization, because we are actually saying that we want to build economically viable rural communities. But another issue, as I wrap up, Program Director, I think it's also about us supporting those businesses. Let's be honest. In those businesses, do we support them? Let's be honest. We do, but not to the level that we should be, right? They are relying on us. The businesses are there. They go out of business because I decide I'm just gonna get into a taxi, I'm gonna go to Woolies and buy, and you know, there's no problem with buying at Woolies. I buy at Woolies, they pay my salary, by the way. But it's also important that in the communities where we are, we support small businesses. They cannot grow, they cannot be sustainable without us. So sometimes they are forced out of business because we are just not supporting them. So as much as sometimes we try and say, we point fingers, let's also point fingers at ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think there's one last question for prayer from
Gugu. Where's Gugu? No. Gugu, two things. One, you've asked two questions. One, would our company give any mentorship programs? The answer is no. We're minding business. The second question, whether I am doing mentorship. I mentor a lot of people, youngsters in particular. So if you, the three of you, are willing to take me for lunch because you're going to pay for it, you know, at the choice of my restaurant, preferably in Shenton, and signature, signature. You might get a discounted signature because you're with me. joking. If you take me for lunch, I'm happy to share my time with the three of you. But please, don't waste my time. If you guys are really serious and you want to have a sit down with me, I'll make myself available. We can go for lunch, which you're going to pay for, and we take it from there. Okay. Thank you.
Colleagues, I think we've come to a close. And I do trust that you have learned a lot. You know, I've been in business for so long, I have learned so much today. Key of which, of course, one doesn't get it respectfully, even from the varsities that we sit in and we study in. But as part of our closing remarks, I just want to remind you of the Black Business Council and what we do, where we advocate for black business. I mean, the partnership that we brought today here with the WNR-CETA is exactly that we as Africans build each other, build our businesses, and actually build our country. I think the story about Morocco was a very good story for us to learn from. And we have a lot of ground to cover to ensure that we do the kinds of things that Morocco does. I want to bring your attention to, there's a video that's circulating of a professor from the Netherlands. You know, this professor was talking to his students, and he was telling them just how Africa needs to remain impoverished. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a video that says, and that actually stresses the reason why Africa needs to remain impoverished. Apparently, we need to remain impoverished because of the resources that we have in our country, you know? And I think masterclasses like this, for me, actually, open up our minds to ensure that we don't remain impoverished. May we not allow, such bigotry to overcome us, or people that are living in other countries who are seeing the value that is within our country. May we see our own value, even the value amongst ourselves. I mean, this masterclass for me is actually also just opening up the value within ourselves as a people. To our speakers, it takes a particular type of person to leave their cushy place. I mean, our brother told us that he's from Spain, he's just traveled, but it took time. And he's told you that if you're going to want to take him out, you're going to have to spend your money to make sure that he churns out that which he has learned. And I think we also need to learn that, respect each other's time. If we're saying we're meeting at 10, let's meet at 10 and let's start at 10. I know there's issues of transport and stuff, but if it means we must wake up, and let's do that. Let's start respecting each other as businesses. If we're going to make this economy work, certain basic things must be in place, and time is one of them, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And so to our speakers, we're truly, truly humbled. It takes a special type of person to really come and share your experiences, and your experiences are valid, and they validate us, and one day they will lead us to that Morocco kind of an encounter. To our host, the WNR, you're a special group of people who do your job. This is basically what your job is about. Your job is about ensuring that we know that we can get learnerships into our businesses, such that I cannot, as an SMME, say I'm not supported when there are people that are looking for work that are already being paid for by a CETA to ensure that they are a learnership. So I'm saying to fellow SMMEs here that if you have an SMME and you feel unsupported, it is your fault. Because somewhere out there, there's somebody who is being paid for by a learnership, who could be supporting you. So if you need marketing services, there's somebody who's learned some marketing skill, but is looking for some place to go and live that marketing, that skill, but we're not giving them. So let's network. So whatever you need, somebody's sitting with it. So, but it is only through the network. The brother asked us about how do I network? You're only going to network. You have to be open, unfortunately, and want to learn about the other person and for them to learn about you. So to WNR, thank you guys. Let's have one meeting. My sister, let's hear each other. Otherwise, as I'm speaking, I'm hearing you and I cannot. And then I get distracted, sorry. And actually, I mean, in what you were doing, you're actually also inspiring us to be good corporate citizens, that our businesses must actually register, pay tax, and actually be with the SDL, because it's only if you're paying your skills development levy that you can be able to be exposed to the opportunities like we've been given. So thank you so much for bringing all that, and may you do more, and may you be, may the universe just conspire in strengthen what you do as an organization. To all the SMMEs that are here, we honor you. It also takes a special kind of person to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. And just to remind you that the day you build is not the day you eat. The day you build is not the day you eat. You know, we want to build today and eat today. Our brother was telling us that let's be futuristic. Let's learn what the trends are. And it is only if you're going to learn the trend, and also if you want to be a person of value, know what value you bring. And charge for it, by the way. I think with that, I'd like to thank you all. And I'd like to wish all of you success, prosperity, health, and happiness. May we make our economy work, GNU and all, and may you be blessed, and thank you very much. Thank you. As mentioned, lunch will be served from 1 o'clock. And it will be on the first floor. And
the Wholesale and Retail SETA has been facilitating skills development in the wholesale and retail sector since 2000. The SETA is an organization of the Department of Higher Education and Training and is part of 20 other SETAs. These organizations are responsible for, amongst others, to equip small businesses with skills to become competitive in one of South Africa's biggest economic sectors, wholesale and retail. Over 80% of the wholesale and retail sector comprises of small businesses. These are companies employing between 0 and 49 employees. Some of the benefits to SMMEs for participating in skills development include the following: receiving 20% of levies paid to SARS, participate in learnerships, bursaries and graduate programs, receiving grants of up to 9,000 Rand for training, develop skilled employees to increase profitability to grow your company and the country, receive tax rebates for learnerships. Our programs include learnerships and short programs, graduate programs and internships, bursaries up to PhD level, management development programs, entrepreneurship development for youth-owned businesses. How can your small business benefit from the WNR SETA programs? Companies with an annual salary bill of 500,000 Rand and above must complete a workplace skills plan to indicate their training needs each year by 30 April. The SETA assists companies to submit this document at no cost. The WNR SETA also supports companies with less than 500,000 Rand salary bill and do not pay levies through the following programs. Informal traders and micro-enterprises capacitate informal traders on basic business management skills to run profitable and sustainable companies. Youth Enterprise Development Program to mentor and coach young people to run or start their own businesses. Beneficiaries receive grants to invest in their businesses. Small business is big business.